Hello everyone and welcome to episode 4 of J. Kahlo Racing's Formula V series. In this episode, we're going to talk about the fuel cell and some of the issues that have been delaying some of the work we've been doing. Now, as you saw in the introduction video, if you've watched that video, this fuel cell which I have is leaking and unfortunately is not going to be usable. So in this video, we're going to address what needs to be done and what our various options are if we want to replace it. What you see here, though, is one of the main problems we have with the cell, which is that the AN fitting came loose there. Now, I was able to later get that AN fitting back on, but it was not able to go back on as strong as when it came from the factory. So that was something that was immediately hampering this cell. I did find out later, though, that there were leaks coming from the structure of the plastic or whatever material made up the cell anyways, so it was unusable regardless. Here you see me placing it in the car, but I will find out soon enough that the cell is unusable. So now we're going to look at the various options. My first option is to repair my current fuel cell that I have. Now, the current fuel cell that I have from ATL, Aerotech Laboratories, is over 35 years old. When I called them and asked about this specific model, they said that it hadn't been made since at least 1985. And we'll get to that later because that plays a role in some future decisions as well. Additionally, there was an AN fitting that had come loose, and I got it back on, but it wasn't a solid seal and it wasn't on very tight, so that's another thing going against this cell. And then lastly, it shows heavy leakage. And, there are some repair methods that some people talk about. It's, dubious things. People have done it to repair a cell in a pinch for a race weekend, but it's ultimately not the route I should be looking for if I want to have a sustainable and reliable vehicle. So on to option number 2. So option number 2 would be to buy a direct replacement from ATL. But the thing is, ATL hasn't made this model since 1985, like I said before. So a direct replacement would essentially be a custom one-off piece, priced at over $1,600. Now, this replacement would have modern technology such as foam baffling and rollover valves, and it would come with an up-to-date FIA FT3 certification, all very important things. Also, another key factor that would help this option is that it would fit in the current aluminum housing, and I wouldn't need to purchase or fabricate a new aluminum housing for this fuel cell. My third option is to buy an off-the-shelf fuel cell from ATL or from a competing company such as FuelSafe Racing Cells. These come in at a significantly cheaper price, range between $600 and $800. However, they would require new aluminum housings, which cost between $250 and $350 to buy, although I may be able to fabricate one myself for cheaper. I'm not 100% sure how much that would cost, though, and how much effort that would take. Now, these cells would come with modern technology and up-to-date FIA FT3 certifications, just like the custom cells, but unlike the custom direct replacements, they may not fit under my current seat, which could increase the costs exponentially if I had to rethink my whole seating situation in the car. Now, I think I'll be able to avoid that if I choose this option by doing lots of research and finding an off-the-shelf option that still fits underneath my current seat, and I do think I'll be able to do that. These two that are pictured below are two cells from ATL and FuelSafe respectively that I believe will fit under my current seat and that I could get as a replacement. This will ultimately be the option that I'm going to select because I think it'll be the best way to keep costs down while maintaining the highest standards of quality in the race car. I think I'll be able to do it all in all for just under $1,000, which isn't cheap by any means, but as compared to getting a custom one-off piece for over $1,600, I think it's a pretty good deal. Now, since that was a lot of footage of me not working on the car, here's a couple shots of me taking apart some of the old fuel lines so I can replace those with newer lines. There's nothing necessarily wrong with them, but as with everything else, I'm just looking to refresh things. So here you can see these are the brand new lines and also a brand new fuel filter that I bought to replace it with. It's just a cheap CarQuest filter, same as the old one that I took off. Here you can see the box, which shows what it was. It was, just down the road, grabbed that quickly from CarQuest. Same thing with the fuel line. So I took some of the old hose clamps off the old line, because there was no reason not to reuse those, and put those to the side. Then you just really shove on the new line onto either side of that fuel filter and put those hose clamps on and tighten it on. It's a pretty simple job, so I just have it all sped up here, and you can see me getting this fuel filter all set up. While we're waiting, I want to take a second to thank our very first sponsor, Triple J Property Maintenance. Located in Milan, New York, but offering services throughout all of Dutchess County and Columbia County. Make sure to check out Triple J, and now back to the episode. Now, since this filter is going to go past by the heads, I am going to put on some heat shielding so that it doesn't melt that fuel filter and cause a fire in the engine bay, because that could be a real hazard. So we did put on some heat shielding over that filter. Thank you very much for watching this episode of J. Kahlo Racing's Formula V series. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more content, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.